As a legend once said,
No, I want my bacon. I gotta tell you something. Bacon is good for me.
well, I do like bacon, but even more so I like lighting, and lighting is good for me. I like lighting. Actually, I love lighting. Whether it be in my living room, my kitchen or my gaming setup, I love a bit of ambient lighting. I even have it in my car. Although it did come with it, I didn't go to the extreme of adding it. So when I discovered recently that one of my favourite lighting brands, Govee, were releasing a new and improved version of some of their light strips, I just had to try and get my hands on some. Now, I have to confess I've had these for a couple of months, I just haven't bothered to get round to actually installing them and making a video about it. These are the Govee M1 addressable light strips. They were released quite a while back in the US and a couple of months ago in the UK, and I got my hands on some to add into my setup in place of some of my older version of the Govee addressable strips. I've been pretty happy with my lighting since I set the room up. However, one little thing that has always bugged me a bit is the Govee strips I have on the wall aren't the smoothest looking things when it comes to transitioning between colours. The ones I currently own are 150 LEDs per 5 metres of light strip. While these offer good brightness, they do jerk a bit in some modes, especially if you're on a slower speed setting, which is what I like to have them set most of the time. The set of lights I currently have on the wall are the 10 metre Govee RGB IC strips, which is actually 2 strips of 5 metres controlled by one controller box. This does mean that when you choose scenes like a chase, they will start at the same point and finish at the same point in a mirror image and not a continuous flow. The new strips have double the LEDs from the older strips with 300 LEDs per 5 metres. The M1 strip does offer the option to join up to 2 sets together and make a 10 metre single strip controlled from one controller. Though I would assume that this came at a cost of brightness and maybe colour accuracy, but we'll see if this is the case once I've installed it. Looking at the box, the first thing that you will notice is the size of the packaging. Compared to the older 5 metre box I have, you can see the mammoth size of the new box. I do like the round design and the box feels like a premium product for sure. Opening the box, I noticed that the strips have a protective coating on them, which I didn't actually realise. Although after checking the website I can't find any specific waterproof ratings, but as these are going indoors for me, I don't really need to worry. The strip comes with a self-adhesive backing. I've never had a problem with the strips losing their ability to stick over time. They've always been super lightweight though, and these strips are a bit meatier, so it remains to see how well they perform over the long term. The power block and controller don't seem to have any water protection at all, so if you are looking to put these outside, I would definitely contact their customer support to see if they can be used outdoors. I do think they're waterproof, but I wouldn't take my word for it. What I've done here is I've taken down the old strip from the top of the wall and the left hand side, and left the older strip along the bottom and the right hand side, just so you can see a direct comparison between the two strips. The first thing you can clearly see is the difference in brightness between the two strips. The M1 is going along the top and down the left hand wall, and to the naked eye, and hopefully it shows up on camera just as well, it's just how much brighter it is. Another thing you can notice from this effect, and I'm going to change it in a minute as it is a little bit fast, is the colour accuracy. These are exactly the same scene, set to exactly the same colours, and you can clearly see along the bottom and the right hand side, which is the older strip, that the white part of the effect is a more of a bluey green colour. I can't find anything to say there's a dedicated white channel on the M1 strip, but in my opinion there must be to get the whites this accurate. So if I change the scene now just to a solid colour, and I change it to just white, you can see the M1 strip smoothly transitions between colour and fades into the new setting nicely. Watch as I do this on the older strip using older technology, and you can see there's an immediate jump into the next setting. After turning the old strip to white, you can clearly see the difference in colour from a white and what is meant to be white. You can see the blue-green hue of the older strips compared to the white of the M1 strip above. That alone is 100% worth it for me. As I have some hue play bars behind the monitors too, these are a truer white also, so when I used to have the white scene set before getting the M1 strips, they were never truly white, so this is a game changer. What I've done now is swap it over to a 2-colour chase scene on a slow speed setting, as you can see, having more LED bulbs on the strip makes absolutely no difference to the stutter as it moves along at the slower speeds, which is a little bit disappointing, but not the end of the world. Skipping forward to when I set it onto the rainbow scene to show off the colours, you can see how the M1 strip is a lot more subtle on the blend between colours. Again, this is an identical setting between the two strips, and it really does show where the extra bulbs have a bit of an advantage in more than just brightness. The difference in colour intensity between the M1 and my old Govee strips is massive, and I'm really happy with the M1 so far. The only thing left for me to do now is I have to remove the older strip from the wall and decide if I'm going to keep the current setup and have 2 strips starting and finishing at the same point, or join the 2 strips together of the M1s and make a 10 metre strip. I'm going to do that off camera now and join 2 strips together, see how that looks, and then decide once I've done that how to set them up permanently. So what I've done now is I've temporarily installed down this side and along the bottom the second Govee M1 strip. And the reason I've done it temporarily is if I'm going to have it on two separate power points and not join it together, they're both going to start in this corner, but the way I have the lights set up, to join them together they will both be plugged in this corner. So I've had to set it up temporarily, and basically all I've done is I've just not stuck it down to the wall. So what I'm going to do is go into the Govee app now, because what I discovered earlier when I filmed the part showing me joining the two strips together, to actually get it to work, even though they're plugged in now, you have to go into the strip on the app, go to the settings for the M1 strip and click refresh length, and this will do a little test. And there you go. That's two strips joined together, and that's one 10-meter strip now. And now you can just control the whole strip as one going into different scenes and allowing you to do things like that. Now I'm going to have a play around with this and see if I'm going to keep this as one long strip or split it into two strips like I had before. But just by looking at it already, I think I'm going to keep it as it is. I like it. Rather than having two separate strips starting at the same point and ending in the same spot like I had before, I quite like how this looks. So just having a quick look through the app now, you have all the different scenes, and if you're familiar with the Govee app at all, you'll know you have the option to DIY, where you can create your own scenes. I have some created already, but you can click on the edit button and create a new one. Add a scene and name it. Call it what you want. I'll call this the Govee M1 test. Confirm that. You can change the icon and stuff here too, but I don't really do that. Then the group, I don't really know what this does, it never seems to work for me. I'm guessing you can group different lights together. And then you can also choose what it looks like, whether you want it to go clockwise, anti-clockwise, cycle, which goes with different colours, gradient blends the colours, twinkle, which is self-explanatory, and breathe, which will do that on-off slow breathing effect you see lots of different lighting strips do. Then you can set the colours you want for sections of the strip. So for instance, if you want to do green and blue, you just choose a colour in the sections of the strip. Then choose blue, and set blue through here, and do the last bit and click apply, and there you go. I've obviously missed one out there. Oh yeah, there. Apply it again, and there you go. Then you can set again if you wanted to do a clockwise sort of thing and change your speed, and you have almost literally endless options of what you can do. Choose your background colour. We'll choose red. Apply that. Now it's not actually doing anything, but I guess if you don't colour in some sections in, that will be the colour used. Yep, that's what your background colour will be. And that's how you easily set up your own scene, and it's just a finger sketch, but you can go through the different options, like for instance chasing, click on chasing, set two colours. I like the purple and teal look. Apply that. Alright, a little bit extreme, so bring the speed down. Apply that, and that's the general look I go for. You also have options like crossing, set the speed a bit higher, and it will do that, just sort of bouncing off each other. I really don't want to bore you and go through every option in the app. It's one of those things that if you buy them, you can spend hours finding exactly what you want for your own personal taste. I have some set up, like when I played Battlefield, I set the light into the game colours. Crossing purple is one of my favourites I like to use, on a slow setting that is though. And when I was watching The Matrix a couple of months ago, I set the whole room to green, and I've had the PC set up to the colours as well. I like how the 10-meter strip looks, so I definitely think I'm going to keep this as one strip, especially using some of the preset scenes that are preset. One of the ones I quite like is Meteor Shower, and this didn't quite work when it was on two strips in the mirror image setup I had before. I do like the fact that it's doing a full loop, that's for sure, rather than starting and finishing together and bouncing backwards and forwards. 10 meters is the maximum, by the way, that you can have on like connecting two strips together. You can't connect 3, it won't go to 15 meters. So 2 strips is the longest you can connect. And that's pretty much it. I have to say, in summary, it's a massive improvement from their older light strips, especially the fact that it's Wi-Fi compatible too. One of the things with the old strips is they weren't, and they were Bluetooth only, and I have the room connected to the female that shall not be named, and it was quite annoying to have the whole room turn on and set up as one apart from the wall lights, which I had to go into the app and to turn on like manually every time, which is just a little bit tedious, especially when I was setting up for doing something like filming. So overall, I've been massively impressed with the M1 light strips, and I would definitely recommend them. This video isn't sponsored in any way, I bought these with my own money, and at the time of filming, it's January 2023, they have them on sale at the moment in their UK online shop for $89.99. Still a pricey light strip, but they generally offer high quality in the realms of the Philips Hue light strips. At that price for a 5 metre strip, I would definitely buy them if you're looking for a good solid option of a plug and play light strip, that's for sure. So that's it. The Govee M1 Light Strip is a huge improvement over some of their older products. At the price they are now, and even at their full retail price that I paid, I would get your hands on some of these for any of your lighting strip needs. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Drop a comment too, as these really do help the channel. I've made a New Year's resolution to up my content creation this year, so if there's anything you'd like to see me make a video on, leave a comment and any ideas you might have, and I'd love to see if I can make a video for you. Until the next one, keep gaming.